Yo, it is another episode of SelzSpeaks Podcast. Listen, I know I'm always switching up the location, the locale. We experimenting. That's how you find what works. You experiment. So now I got my boy with me, Marc. Listen, you guys might know him on Instagram, comedian. I was there even before he was doing that when he first started to see how he's blown up, how he's grown. Man, listen, for the people that don't know you, tell them a little bit about yourself. Introduce yourself, man.
So, hi guys. My name is Marc Brianvil. I'm a comedian. I am a Christian, and I'm in the military. So, yeah.
How'd you end up in the military?
I guess it's just something I always wanted to do. Mm-hmm. So, when I got the chance to do it, I was like, let's do it full blown.
Right. And so just to give him a little background on our relationship, we kind of met or connected because we were doing Real People, Real Lives together. Yeah. And so that was like a ministry of some sorts where we would take like the toughest topics and we would do like Facebook Lives on them. Right. And I remember at that time you were like slowly putting out the little comedy skits and stuff that. So like, how did you even start to get into the comedy side of it?
I mean, it's just like there's certain stuff I just wanted. Like in the Haitian church, I just wanted to reproduce them, like, and just make fun out of. Like, I thought they were just funny, so it would be very easy to just make fun of it, and people in church were happy, like they were laughing about it too. So it was very easy to do it, and I wanted to laugh too about certain stuff. So comedy kind of like in general. There's like comedy is kind of very like dirty or whatever. Yeah. So I just wanted something that has like church in it and no cursing or whatever. But yeah, so that's how I started it.
So from when would you say like it really started to take off?
It started to take off when I made a video about Haitian parents telling us to eat my moulin, right? And when I made that video went very like big viral. Yeah. And then it went off during COVID. So there was this trend going on, and I did it, and I went like big viral. Wow. So like a lot of Haitians found out about me and stuff, and they started following me and stuff. Yeah.
So has that kind of been like another stream of income for you and open up doors and opportunities you probably never saw possible?
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's not that I didn't thought they were possible. I mean, I expected them, but
good.
But it's just like it did open some, money coming from certain places and stuff. But it's just like from like the reason why I was doing this probably like the money was part of it too.
Yeah.
Even though I never saw it coming, like okay, I'm gonna make that amount or that big amount, but I always like one day I'm gonna make something from posting something online, right. And I did, so it's kind of fun.
What would you say was like, if you had to say it was one thing that you kind of focused on that led to your success, what would you say that was?
Consistency. Like it would just keep posting, literally, and I would keep posting, and I would work on what I'm posting. And the thing is, too, like with me, I had a method. If I do not laugh before I post my videos, I won't post them.
Okay.
So I need to be able to laugh at myself first before I can allow other people to laugh. And there's a lot of videos I never post them because I didn't think they were funny. Yeah. So I was just like, okay, nah, and I didn't post them. So consistency and like me approving it. My childish side watching me doing foolishness, and they're like, "Oh man, that's funny," and then I post it. Yeah. So
I like that one. Like it's got to be good to you, or at least funny to you before you put it out. That's good. That's good.
That one truly matters to me. Yeah. And that's one of the things, you would barely see me doing videos with other people. There's a lot of comedians that would reach out to me, and not that I didn't think they were funny, but most of the time they would tell me this is what we're gonna do.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, I don't think that's funny yet. Yeah. They are funny people. They were just like, but what we're about to do together, I don't think that's funny. Right. I would have like, nah. Or I would just don't say anything and it just die off and stuff.
Right.
So yeah.
That's dope. And so now, mainly a lot of the stuff that you're doing is kind of church based. So I mean, I know when it comes to Haitians, even church people in general, we tend to be well, I don't want to say we, but church folk in general, or let's say more really religious folk,
Right.
tend to be very sensitive about stuff. So did you get those DMs or those things like, oh, this is disrespectful to God? And
Oh, that was a lot. I mean, it was not a lot, though, but it was coming.
Yeah.
Like, I remember people would call my mom. They're like, yo, what is that you're doing on these internet? My mom was like, my mom is kind of like, she's my supporter.
Okay, good.
But
good.
she was like, I don't want to send y'all questions because it's just like, he's just making people laugh.
Right.
So, or some people would just like they would think I'm gay or whatever because I had a wig or whatever. So I was just like, man, I don't have time for y'all. And the thing is, I hate that, the fact that, you know, people are like, and that's one thing that I hate online. Some church people would bully me, you know, and thank God I didn't spend my time on it.
All right.
But it's just like, and I know a lot of right now comedians or influencers that are going through it, like bullying by especially church people. Like, I see it. But it's just like, this didn't get to me at the time. And that's all, you know. I get past it, and thankfully I'm where I'm at right now, man.
So when you say bullying, like give us an example. Give us one of the worst ones.
I mean, to me, I can give you the worst because, bro, I don't have time to remember what these people did to me. Like, and I don't think it was that bad.
Yeah.
Who like there's Famala Gita, man. I don't know if you know her, bruh. The amount of bully on her Insta or on her TikTok or Instagram, I've never seen this.
Wow.
And like, I'm in APOP, so I'll be going through them people's Instagram. I'm like, and they're Christians.
Wow.
They have this verse on their bio.
Yeah.
And then their post is about Jesus. And I'm like, hold up, like, what is this?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, they call themselves Christians. But yeah, like, I'm like, this is not who we're supposed to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, this, I mean, I've seen certain comments.
Wow.
Ooh, they're will get canceled.
Yeah.
If I say the comments like, YouTube going like, we can't. We're gonna block this one. It's bad, and especially Haitians.
Yeah.
I think I can cuss you in English.
Yeah.
You might not get offended,
Yeah.
But when I cuss you in Creole, and you don't get offended, then nothing will offend you. It's bad.
That's true. Girl is kind of a very rough.
It's really bad.
Yeah. And so, you know, it's interesting because I don't know if a lot of people know that other side to you when it comes to church and religion, that I can't even say low key anymore, bro. You a high key apologetic.
Man.
Like, you ain't out here playing games. You actually a real apologetic. You reading the books. You know what I mean? You know your stuff. You know your scriptures. Like, you legit now, bro.
Man.
And I know you're going to try and be humble about it. I know.
I'm gonna be humble. Here's the reason why. Because it looks, I don't know, man. I wouldn't put a title on me.
Okay, fair enough. I get it.
Because when you have that title, it requires certain stuff that I'm not willing to put myself through anymore, right?
Okay.
It's just like the constant going back and forth with people. Man.
Right.
And every day, man, I still remember that the one day you told me, man, you're gonna get to that. You're gonna get to that point. I remember that. And then like I was thinking, I'm like, dang, Asa told me. I literally made a whole video about it. Like, I think I posted it on my tribe because Instagram allow you to post certain stuff.
Yeah.
Did I post it? But yeah. Oh, I wrote it. And I said, man, I don't go back and forth with people. Because, and one of the reasons because it started getting unhealthy to me. You know what I'm saying? I would have a whole discussion with people.
Yeah.
Because having discussion is not bad. But the way I used to do it in the past, it was a lot of anger. You know what I'm saying? So, man, but yeah, I do my homework because one thing with me, I love talking. I love debating. I love it. So, and I love knowledge. And I hate bad information, especially in church.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But we tend to get a lot too. A lot of bad
I mean,
information.
every Sunday, every Saturday, there's like a lot of information, and that's one thing. I wrote this on my blog. People in church, that's a place where we don't verify information.
That's right.
The preacher say it, and
That's it. Yeah.
Like, I wrote this blog called "Who's Gonna Check Me?" So I talked about that issue. I'm like, who's checking these Negroes? You know what I'm saying? It's like, I remember this dude was in an Adventist church. He was talking about the Sunday law, right?
Yeah.
And how the Rockefeller brothers, they own half of the earth wealth.
Yeah.
I'm like, sir, how did you get this? And I checked it, like, and that's one thing I asked myself. I'm like, why did you check that? Like, you know it's not true.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we want to give them the credit so bad, where we're like, he probably right, or he might be right, because someone, you got to be out of your mind just come on a pulpit and just say whatever you want. You know what I mean? Yeah. Man, they be saying whatever they want.
No, listen, I remember I went to I think it was South or North Carolina. And so we was visiting family or whatever. And we decided we going to go to church on, Saturday, because the family's Sunday business. So we're there. And the pastor starts preaching, and he's going down the list of things that are sins. Oh, if you're cheating on your wife, the typical obvious ones.
Right.
And then this man came to the pulpit. He clearly said, listen, I want you guys to know, all you pizza lovers out there, all you people who like ice cream and dairy, eating cheese is a sin. And you could go to hell for eating cheese as much as you could for killing somebody. I sat there, I looked at this man like, what? And it's not like anybody in the church was like outraged. They just, they listened to it like he's saying something deep. And I'm like, I can't say that was one of the moments because growing up SDA, there were many moments.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, a lot.
Many moments where I heard that just did not make any sense. Yeah. And I think, and it's not until later I realized that I grew up bi-denominational. And what I mean by that is, I was going to church on Saturday and Sunday. So a lot of conceptions that people had, a lot of conceptions that Adventists who went to church on Saturday had about people who go to church on Sunday, I knew those were false because I was there every Sunday seeing them. And so like I'm getting both sides of the fence, while most people who go to church on Saturday only really get one side. So from early on, I started to see like, oh, there's a lot of nonsense that's being spread here.
See, that's a luck. I mean, that's a luck you had. I didn't have, right? Growing up, I didn't have the chance to go to a Sunday church because they were not good, right? So
Right.
So it's just like the information that we were getting about these people, it was through Adventist preachers,
right? Exactly,
that had an agenda in mind,
biased perspective,
right? So definitely was biased. Right. And the first time I experienced the Sunday service, I was like, wait a minute, well, I feel God here, And I'm like, and it was blowing, mind blowing.
And listen to everybody who's watching, who's wondering why do they keep saying Sunday church instead of church? It's just a thing when you grow up Adventist, you're so used to the phrase Sunday church. Yeah. So that now when you go to church on Sunday, you just say Sunday church. Yeah. And church normally tends to be Saturday. So it's not a slight or anything like that. It's just that's kind of the culture that you grew up in. That even though we out of that culture for the majority of the part, there's the little habits that you still keep. Yeah. And so okay, you an apologetic, you're reading, and now you at this point now where you're challenging your own beliefs. So now I know how I got to that point. I got to a place where I was just like, I was just over the stuff that didn't make sense. But I think what happened is I had a cousin of mine who also grew up in the church, and his family was super religious. And I watched him kind of turn away from a lot of the things that we as a family were kind of believing. And so I was watching him, and every time he would talk, everybody tried to act like he was stupid. Right. And then one day I was like, yo, let me see what he's saying. So I started looking at stuff, and I was like, well, he's kind of bringing up legitimate points here. Right. And I would realize nobody wanted to have conversations about the points. Right. And so as I started doing my research and looking into things, you just kind of start seeing things that like people say that's just not right. Like, even scriptures that we use out of context sounds good, feels good, but it's so off. And the reason why this became so important to me is because one thing I realized, because, you doing comedy and me playing and being in music and doing all that stuff. I work with many people from many different walks of life.
Definitely.
And I remember when I used to accompany and play piano at UCF, I had the pleasure of working with someone who was a part of the LGBT community. She was a lesbian. Right. But one of the sweetest ladies and sweetest people I'd ever met. Mm-hmm. And another thing that I started to realize was, in the same way that you can have opinions about another denomination because you're never in it, right, you can also have opinions about people because you never experienced them, had conversations with them, talked to them about their struggles and challenges. Right. And when I tell you, I used to talk to this lady and she was just so nice, so sweet. And she was a believer in God, which was a little confusing for me too, because I'm like, well, the Bible says this and that. And then I kind of came to this place where I was like, you know what? I'm really realizing more and more that God will meet us at our level. And the responsibility of changing and of growing ain't on me, ain't on the people. It's between that person and God. Yes. Because there's going to be porn addicts who never overcame it, that will still make it into the kingdom. Because it was a struggle that they just never overcame. There's going to be people who are doing all kinds of horrible things, not intentionally, because at that point it's become iniquity. It's something that they struggle with. And so why is it we're going to pick and choose, what a person's struggle is that qualifies them, unqualifies them? Because ultimately, at the end of the day, even preachers who's saving thousands, who's baptizing millions, ain't going to make it. That's right. So this is not an endorsement of behavior that we clearly know is sin to go and do it, but it is saying, like, God, when he says my ways ain't your ways, my thoughts ain't your thoughts,
and they truly ain't.
It's way above us. Yeah. So it's like, you now moving in that apologetic space, like, what is your world becoming now? Because you coming from this grounded, and I know to be Adventist and Haitian at that time too, it's heavy. Yeah. So it's like, what is that? What's the journey in that?
It was what's the word for it, Jesus? He was horrible, right? It is horrible, right? Because I write a lot, so you see. I post on my blog, and I said that the other day, my last blog. I said, I felt like I was abused, and I felt betrayed. Yeah. And especially it was concerning God in my relationship with other people. Mm-hmm. And that's how I felt. And that's why I had that much anger when I first encountered all of these new, I'm not going to call them new truth, but these new arguments against Adventism that were way more, what's the word? They made more sense. So it's annoying. It's an annoying season, horrible. Yeah. Where you're going through something and other people are saying it's not all that. Yeah. And other people are saying that you totally wrong. Other people are saying, you literally choosing not to do what's right. Right. And you in this alone. Yeah. Like there's nobody that's saying, I understand you. I understand your struggle. I mean, there was some people, but it's like, this is, and you by yourself in this fight. Yeah. Because my entire family is Seventh Adventist. My entire family is Seventh Adventist. So now when you have this one little dude from Haiti, barely made it out of high school, telling you, wait, there's a problem with this. Okay, now you just following trends. You don't know what you're talking about.
They're not taking you seriously.
Right. So this would frustrate me. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm trying to have a discussion. And that's one thing. It was the constant rejection of hear my point. Nobody wanted, like your cousin. People don't want to hear people's point. So it was horrible. And I do not wish anybody to go through it because it's bad. And that's why a bunch of young Adventists, they come to me like, yo, can you give me some resources? I'm like, are you really sure you want to go through this? Like, because for one, certain books, when you read them, and you're like, what? Like you're discovering certain stuff. You're going to be shocked, first of all. Yeah. Second of all, people going to see you as a threat to them. Or like, Where did you get this from? They're gonna start calling you names, or you crazy because you doing this right now. Yeah. You read, like, I remember people were like telling me that I'm stupid because I'm reading certain material.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, oh, you shouldn't read anything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I have my own capacity. Like, I have the right. I can read what I want to read. You know what I'm saying? So now it's me and the Holy Spirit rejecting stuff that are not true.
Right.
See what I'm saying? So yeah, it was a horrible season, and yeah, I don't want to go through it. Even still, now I'm still going through it.
Yeah.
But it's not as same as what it was in the past.
Because you're not engaging as much.
Yeah, because I mean, in the past it was bad because I was mad. I was mad. I was an angry dude. Like I had time. You see all of that. I had time. So, ooh man, and I would do it on purpose.
Yeah,
I liked it, and even though I knew it was a poison, there's certain poison that feels so good. They taste so good. This was my poison, man. And like, I'm like, wait a minute, I love this. Like, I love challenging these Negroes. I'm sorry, but these people, like, because the thing is, to me, I think when I ask you a certain question, that's how I thought. If I ask you a question and you don't know it, when I leave, you're gonna think about it.
Right.
And you're like, let me do a research. But it's not like that for everybody. So what I would do is I would just put the question out there, real unknowing questions for Adventists. Most of the time, they would just come like with stupid, non-research, no foundation response.
Right.
Where I used to like that, but I would go detail by detail, telling them how you're wrong, your statement is wrong. So I loved it. I still love it.
Yeah.
But it's something that God had to work me out of. But it was a poison that was gonna kill me if I stayed in it. So I would spend days. I remember that one Sunday, man. Because here's the reason why I was trying to engage so much. Yeah. This is what I believe. Because I wanted someone to convince me.
Yeah.
That's the truth. Like, because the thing is, the amount of people I've emailed, Adventist preachers, Adventist theologian. I remember that one Sabbath book. I don't know if you have one. Little book you do one Saturday, but there's some weird stuff in it. And I emailed whoever wrote it. Like, I went on the back, found the email of the editor, and I emailed him. I quote, and I said, there's a problem with this. Did research on this. This is not right.
Right.
And then he sent me a bunch of resources to go do studies, like Amazing Discoveries, Doug Batchelor. That were the two resources that he sent me. And I'm like, I didn't even respond to him. I'm like, but what the heck? Like, I just sent you, scholarly articles and stuff.
You sent me something from the home.
You sent me something from Doug Batchelor. Like, send me something from the Adventist Theological Seminary. Right. Send me something from Andrews University.
Right.
From Doug Batchelor? Man. But yeah, that's why, I would engage. I would want to talk to people because deep inside, I wanted someone to convince me.
Right.
I wanted someone to literally, detail, point by point.
Yeah.
Establish the truth in the investigative judgment.
Yeah. I feel like it was like kind of my journey, because when I was doing it, it's like, okay, you're getting all this information and it seems a lot more right than the stuff that you've been learning. Yes. And then it's like, all right, this seems right, but I kind of deep down inside I want to be wrong, because this means if what I learned was wrong, I got to undo a whole lot of stuff. So now you go talking to people like, hey, I'm going to say this stuff that seems right, but just make me wrong.
Make me wrong,
Make me wrong. And then like you keep doing it and nobody's making you wrong, and it's getting worse. Man. And it's like you starting to really realize. And it's twofold, because the other side is like, you're not even getting good answers.
That's the problem.
Like, not even decent.
Man,
answers.
When I tell you, like, what you just say is the truth.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, I'm too deep in this for it to be wrong.
Yeah.
I'm like, please, someone. And that's why I befriended a bunch of people, a bunch of pastors, Adventist pastors. If you go on my Facebook, you see a bunch of Adventist pastors.
Yeah.
They would just look.
And
they were not saying that. I remember this one dude, I talked to him like, yo, I want you to be my mentor. He's an Adventist pastor. But I had my, I'm like, he preached really good though.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask him those questions.
Yeah.
And one day, after like a good 5 months, I sent him all these questions. This man said, I don't believe in investigative judgment.
Oh, listen. A lot of them are like that.
I'm like, what do you mean? He said it's not in the Bible. And I said, then what are you doing? He's like, I mean, if I talk about it, I'm gonna lose my job. I'm like, oh, I get it.
They protecting the check, bro. Because listen, the benefits are good. Your kids go to school for free. They cover a lot. I understand it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like it,
man,
but I get it.
Man, when I tell you, like, I want it to be wrong, I want it to be wrong so bad.
Right.
At some point, they ran out of answers. They started attacking me personally.
Of course, they got to. Yeah.
So now, I remember this dude literally attacked my past. You know, stuff I did in the past.
Yeah.
Like, and I DM him. I'm like, that's where we're gonna go. You know, like you comparing me with a whole organization. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he was like, no, man. Like that. I'm like, man, never mind. Like, it was me.
Yeah.
Asking for help.
Right.
And then help never came. And then, or the help that came was not help. They did, I don't know what. And then one Sunday, man, I sat up for 11 hours.
Wow.
11 hours with this Adventist pastor. I still remember it. And I if it wasn't he gotta go to sleep,
Yeah.
I don't know how many hours it would be.
Oh.
Because I was good. Like I didn't have to go to work on that Monday.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't have school.
Yeah.
I'm like, we can go. Like,
I got time.
yeah, I got time. And there was like 5 other people there on the Zoom. We had a whole Zoom meeting. And I reached out to him. I mean, his member reached out to him. We're like, yo, there's this dude that want to talk about the investigative judgment. Because that was the biggest. Yeah. You know, there's other stuff that I was like, I could live with being an Adventist. I don't care about Sunday law. I could live with that because I know it ain't true. I could live with it. But the investigative judgment,
that was the part that was bothering me.
I said, I cannot live with that doctrine.
Yeah.
Like, it's I can live with the Sabbath, the review of the Sabbath. I swear, bro. I could live with it. But the investigative judgment, I couldn't. So he reached out. He's like, this dude that want to talk about the investigative judgment. And he reached out to me. He was like, how can I help? And so I told him, man, I have so many questions. And I pushed the first question. He was like, this would mean that we sit down and stuff. I'm like, when do you want to sit down? And he was like, okay, we scheduled it. And then, man, that Sunday, I ate, woke up. I mean, the 2 days before, bro, like I would go in. Yeah. I bought books. Yeah. Commentaries. Wow. Because I wanted to find what their interpretation of Daniel. I wanted to find it somewhere. Yeah. Like I literally wanted to find it. You
just wanted them to be right.
Right. So, man, I bought books. I bought Adventist books. There's this Adventist pastor. I think he's a liberal. Marco Torres, something like that. He wrote a book about the investigative judgment. Rethinking the investigative judgment, something like that. The reinvention or something. But yeah, I bought this book. I contacted Adventist apologists. I have all this stuff. Yeah. They have this book called Question to Answers. And there's this book, these big books. It was an answer to Martin, actually. Okay. Question on Doctrine or something like that. Right. Yeah, I didn't buy it, but I have the PDF. And I made all them research, and I wrote the question stuff that don't make sense. So that Sunday, man, when I tell you, I went with 1,000. You know, when I remember when you give me your car tour. Yeah. You remember when you told me, get ready, we're gonna go in? Yeah. That's I went in that Sunday. This man was speechless. Wow. And he was not convincing. I mean, he couldn't say nothing to me like that. Even the people that came that were member of his church, they texted me like, yo, you make so much sense. And Pastor didn't. And this was not what I wanted.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted him to, like, yo, give me something.
Yeah, to show you that, no, this is actually right.
Go make me think after our discussion.
That's it.
After our discussion, I was like, man, I just wasted my time.
That was a turning point for you, wasn't it?
When I tell you, I'm like, this is something I really want to do. I mean, I would keep doing it.
Yeah.
But the Lord really actually changed me was in boot camp, Navy boot camp. It's like, man, see, now you don't have your phone.
Yeah.
You don't have internet. I said, I felt a peace that I've never felt before.
Bro, I'm gonna let you know. In my apologetics journey, I remember I had a conversation with a friend of mine. And we sat on the phone and we went back and forth for 8 hours. Jesus. This is when I still had it. Yeah, I think my son was he born? Either my son was born or my wife was pregnant.
Right.
Maybe pregnant. Back and forth for 8 hours. It was the dumbest conversation I've ever had in my life. Because like I'm not even gonna go in depth about it, but the answers was just like, what? Yeah. And then after that I said, I'm not doing this no more. Yeah. Like wasting my entire day. So even now, and this is with anything, honestly, I'll go on the internet and I'll see somebody say something crazy. Like I think the other day somebody was saying something like, oh, musicians don't deserve to be paid. I just look at these things and I'll be like, oh, okay, cool. And I keep moving. Yeah. And it's like you get so much time back. And I think when you're growing, and I call it God smart, when you're becoming God smart, sometimes we lose the whole focus of it, which is how is this information changing you and changing your walk with God? Right. And so I've even seen this with a lot of apologetics where they start learning all this information, and this is not even unique to denomination anymore. Yeah. Sunday, Saturday, whatever, you learn all this information, you know all this stuff, but then it's like your relationship with God and the open-mindedness to know that he can literally do or move in any way he wants starts to become just like the smarter you become, or the smarter God smart you think you become, the dumber you actually become to God, because
the further to God you go.
Exactly.
There's this dude, this scholar, he was a whole preacher. He was one of the most famous. He's smart too. He's not atheist. He's what's the name? Agnostic.
Okay.
Scholar. Working against Christianity, I think. He's a historian and he was a whole preacher. Yeah. The whole DMV. Yeah. And he said that many times. It was when he started doing a lot of research that he was like, there's a lot of stuff that just don't make sense, so and he cannot reconcile with. So now he's writing so many books, and them books are heavy. When I tell you they're heavy, he asked the questions that we have. Yeah. We have asked in our heads, and we ask and we go by faith with them, or we accept the explanation that they give us. You know, they're giving us and stuff. But for him, it's not logic. It's not logical. Bart Herman or something like that. But yeah, he's really good. But he's never rejected the fact that Jesus Christ existed. Right. But he's like, he existed, but it looks like there's certain stuff that we kept, like, he cannot reconcile, and he writes about it. But yeah, what you say is true, and that's one prayer I did, though. I'm like, God, the day you see I start become that type of person, man, you could just take me away. Because I don't want to, because I almost became an atheist, right? Yeah. I was in high school. This professor had challenged me. I don't know if it's bad. I like winning. Yeah. That's human, bro. Right, okay. Especially when it's discussion. I like having my information straight. So when I bring the facts to you, fight with the facts. Facts. Don't fight with me anymore. But yeah. So this dude, man, when I tell you brought up some heavy argument against God. And I was like, oh. And that's when I started all my whole apologetic buying books journey. Because this man challenged me. And I said, if this thing, like, if I become an atheist, I'm gonna be dangerous. I'm gonna be an angry atheist. Yeah. With a lot of information in my head. Yeah. that a lot of other people, probably layman people, don't have, and I'm gonna put that doubt in their head too. Like I said, I was gonna be evil. But yeah, so like that's all. Like when I read, I have too much faith to be an atheist, something like that.
Yeah.
This one, I'm like, dang, that's good. And I would watch a bunch of debates.
Yeah.
The Christian side kind of makes sense to me, more sense to me. But yeah, and Jesus gives more hope than it. There's no other thing. Like I was talking to someone on my way here. Like these other people, like these people, they don't have anything.
That's right.
To hold on
That's
to.
it.
Like at least the Christian story, we have something to hold on
When we
to.
go through something, there is a purpose for it.
I said, I mean, this right here, I mean, it convinced me, man.
That's it. That
whole Jesus story. He came, died, got up, man. I believe that one. Like, I don't know. It gives me more hope, man.
What was weird was my foundation of my beliefs actually came from evil. And I say evil to say that I knew evil was real. Yes. Because I saw evil. Right. I've seen possessions.
Right. And that's one that I used to say to him, like, wait, I've seen evil.
Right.
So therefore, there must be something.
Exactly. So if evil is very real, and I know it's very real, and I've seen evil be stopped.
That's right.
Through prayer, through the name of Jesus Christ, which is quick tangent. That's why I never understand people who like, oh, Jesus wasn't his real name. It was Yeshua. I get that. Yeah. But I've seen possession stopped when Jesus the name of Jesus, it wasn't Yeshua, when the name of Jesus worked. So it's like, and I feel like that's kind of where you came to, where you grow up, you don't really have your own faith yet. It's the faith that you've been given, the faith that you've been taught. And so now you start to develop your own faith. So now you're questioning stuff. And I feel like if you've never almost been atheist, I can't say this as a blanket statement.
Right. That's you.
So I'm going to give the disclaimer. Right. I can't say it as a blanket statement, but I'm going to say it.
Yeah.
I feel like if you haven't, I'm pretty sure there are exceptions. So yes, I just addressed all you exceptions people. But if you've never almost been atheist, I don't know if you're really a true Christian. Man. If you've never got to the point where you've questioned everything and say, oh, this is baloney. And then now you work from that ground zero of, all right, all this is no way. And then you challenge everything and you come back to it. Yeah. It's like, what you really standing on? Yeah. You standing on borrowed faith and borrowed ideologies because you didn't build it up. Yeah. And I think the dope thing about the journey of it is you go from have the faith, other people's faith, throw away everything, start from ground zero, you build yourself back up, you become very scholarly, very smart. But then, and I think that's the point that God wants us to get to, it starts to change your life. Mm-hmm. So now, after you get past being God smart, as I call it, how does your life start to change with this new understanding of God and apologetics and stuff? Like, how does your relationship shift?
I mean, this is the best thing ever. Now, God built my new life on grace now. Man, I think this is the best thing ever, grace. Mm-hmm. I mean, me trying to like understand, this is the type of guy you used to be. Yeah. I used to be that bad guy. Yeah. This is the type of guys that you used to be. This is the guy I'm having this conversation with you. Yeah. You know, like, I love Jesus. Yeah. I mean, people say, but I actually do love Jesus. Yeah. I'm interested in school. Yeah. I have a whole new mindset. Yeah. This is only possible through divine grace. You know, that's it. Yeah. It can't. This can't be human. Like, this can't be just simple. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And the change of hearts. You see what I'm saying? So God is teaching me grace and teaching me how to deal with other people. To, use grace. And that's why now I can have discussion with people, but when I see that it's going left or I'm wasting my time, I just put okay. Mm-hmm. That's a good old okay. Yeah. Works every time. Okay is just done. Even though I'm still struggling with it, y'all. Mm-hmm. It hurt me when I said okay, because I just want to go in. Yeah. But God was like, it's time to stop. Mm-hmm. Okay, and God is using me to pray when I'm in trouble, to give myself away. when I'm in a situation where I don't know what to do, trust me, you don't have nothing. Like, you can't do anything else but trust me.
It makes God more real for you.
So it's just like, dang, I like this, and I truly believe this. I like this me better.
Yeah.
Because now I love people better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, okay, we disagree. Sorry, but just because we disagree on something does not mean that now I cannot love you.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And I trust, and that's one thing. Love requires trust. So I trust people around. Like, not, there's a degree of trust from my perspective. It's not like I trust you with my life or whatever, but I trust you, therefore I love you. So it's just like this grace that God has put upon me. Now when people hurt me, he be in my ear still. Okay, I'm gonna see what you're trying to do, because I've forgiven you.
Yeah.
I'm like, dang, I want to cuss them out. Just like, okay, let me see. Did I cuss you out? Like, you use grace.
Right.
There's a lot of people that will never be able to agree with that.
Yeah.
But to me, Jesus forgave me, man. Like, that forgiveness in the Bible.
Yeah.
It's man, when I tell you, we ought to be able to forgive anyone. I mean, anyone. It's hard. It's hard when you hear it.
Yeah.
It gets real when something really happened to you and stuff.
That's right.
But that's the point where Jesus wants you.
That's right.
Because this man was on the cross. This man is on the cross, and he's asking for forgiveness for Negroes that is killing him.
Right.
This is what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now, what else he has to show you?
That's right. I already gave you all I had.
Right.
And I didn't even belong there.
And this dude, I remember the disciples so come to him, oh, Jesus, should I forgive 7 times? And then 7 times?
70 times.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? And even the numbers that he put, he was not being, like, just because he was specific on that number does not mean that's the specific amount of time that you have to forgive.
Right.
And he put it that high just because he knows you're not gonna waste all, like, you're not gonna be forgiving people 7 times and stuff. But he's trying to put the emphasis on you must always forgive.
That's right.
Man, it's annoying. When you know this person done you so bad, so wrong.
Right.
And being able to forgive people is good for you. I mean, it's research proven.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's remaining assured that God is going to have his way. God is in control. God is going to be the one dealing with that person.
Right.
So when you forgive people, it's a way to say, God, okay, I trust you.
Really letting it go and putting it in the same sense.
But it's not anything.
Oh no, not at all. But you know what I love? And we talk about this a lot off camera and sometimes on the phone. Where you're at is the perfect place to be if you're now getting ready to go to the next level of life. And and that's single, establishing your career, and then now it's finding someone and building life with that person, because the easiest and hardest person to forgive, as far as when it comes to a man, is gonna be your wife. Jesus. Because that's gonna be the person who does the most things to you that piss you off, but then also does the most things to you that make you fall in love with them again. And it's a very interesting dynamic. It's like, it's the person who's the massive source of my joy, but also a massive source of like my agitation at times. Right. And it's like, depending on the day, you don't know which is which. Yeah. But when you're in that place where, and what the word for it really is, unconditional love. When you're learning to just love a person and say, look, you flawed, I'm flawed, but I'm gonna keep loving you, because as messed up as I am, God still gave me another day. God still gave me another moment. So if he could do that for me, the least I could do for you is just give to you what he gave to me. And it's like understanding that and having the humility to kind of be in that place, especially as, God willing, a future husband. Yeah, bro, that puts you in the perfect spot. And honestly, I think it, when it comes to God, a lot of us get caught up in the destination. Make it to heaven.
Right.
Watch out for hell. And we so destination focused that it's never been about the destination.
Right.
It's always about becoming. Who are you becoming? Who are you turning into?
And I don't know if you realize that. So now you say this. In the Bible, there's almost, and I'm not going to say there's none, but there's almost no instruction that God give you when you get to heaven.
Right.
It's always instruction to when you're here right now.
Yeah.
How to love your neighbor.
Right.
All these commands, love your neighbors.
Yeah.
It's the now. You know what I'm saying? So it's about you becoming the person. And when you become and stuff, the heaven parts it's important.
Yeah.
But he put emphasis on the relationship that we have now and stuff. But yeah, man, I'm the next part, the next level is we're praying about it.
What that mean? You look a little nervous, bro. You look a little nervous.
Who wouldn't be nervous about the next level?
Now I'll say this, right? So for the people who've been rocking with us, this was definitely something he wanted to bring up. And so I know we've been on one vibe, but I wanted to give him the space to kind of shoot some of the questions that he had. Because we was talking about it heavy off air. So yeah, ask me what you was trying to ask me, bro. Talk to me.
I asked earlier, right? So how something that God put together fall apart.
Right.
To me, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Right? And that's one of the reasons that I try, most of the time, I'm battling with it. When people say, okay, that's a man God gave me.
Yeah.
I know it was from God. Or that's the man that God chose for me. We tend to always say that and stuff, but I'm like, the way I see it, I see that God can agree with the choice that we made.
Yeah. And
therefore, he sees that the choice that we made is good, and he goes with it. I may be wrong, you know what I'm saying? Because here's the problem I have with the God chose for me. What happened when they mess up or when you guys choose to walk away from each other? Like these people that we mentioned earlier.
Right. And so when he says these people, he saw one of my books, which is The Weight, that was written by Megan Good and Devon Franklin, who unfortunately are now divorced.
So how? And they've been talking about,
Right, yeah, they was doing interviews.
God.
Yeah.
How do I reconcile that? I'll fix after that. But how do I reconcile that? God chose that person for me. Now I'm divorcing them.
So I've thought about this a lot. And I thought about this even before I got married. And this is what God revealed to me. And I'll give you like 2 examples before I give you that straight answer. Or maybe 1 example. So we look at Moses, right? God says to Moses, you're going to go to the promised land. You're going to take the children of Israel to the promised land. Let's use the first set of people who messed up, which was the children of Israel. They go and they see the giants in the land. They come back with a report. They get afraid.
Yeah.
God says, oh, you guys want to trip out? Even though I've done literally too many things for you at this point. Yeah. All right, fine. I'm going to wait till all y'all pass, and I'm going to let y'all children's children go in. But they were meant to go there.
Yeah.
And it was destined to go there. And they had all of the signs. But they decided, let me not even say decided. In that whole process that they were going through, what they were supposed to do? They were supposed to become. Yeah. But they never became.
That's interesting.
And so they went back. And so because they went back to literally that same set of people with that mindset that they were at the sea. Oh my God, Pharaoh's coming. What are we going to do? God delivered. And he kept delivering. But you went back to that same exact place. Now, what God had for you required you to be this person. Yeah. But you went back and was that person. Oh, so you wasn't ready. Yeah. So now you missed out on it. Then we look at Moses. Same concept. Moses, talk to the rock. Don't hit the rock. God's talking to who I need you to become. Moses gets pissed off. He hits the rock. He goes back to where he wasn't supposed to be. Oh, all right. I was trying to have you become, but you didn't want to become. You wanted to go back. So now you're going to miss out. So now when it comes to the concept of when God puts relationships together, it's a journey that God's taking you on individually, and it's a journey that God's taking her on individually. And as you guys grow, right? Because there's a point that you don't know her, she doesn't know you, right? And yet God knows the both of you, and he knows his plan for the two of you. So he's guiding you. He's guiding you. Okay, Mark's ready. All right, she's ready. Now I can put them together.
Right.
But putting it together is just the beginning of it. But the beginning of it is now, hey, now that you guys are together, hey, everything that you learn here, Mark, hey, everything that you learn here, baby girl, use that.
Yeah.
And now there's going to be another stage of becoming
Right.
where you can't forsake the lessons that you learn here. So if you learn, okay, we just talked about forgiveness. So you say, I got to be forgiving. I got to be grace. All right, God understands that. He brought you to this point. So now he has you marry her with the understanding that, hey, you know the lesson of being forgiving.
That's right.
But 3 years into the game, you're not forgiving nothing. She don't make food and you snapping on her. She's not this and you going that. And it's like, hey, I taught you these things. Why are you not doing it? And so what happens is you slowly now, because it's not an abrupt decision, because we as human beings, we love God and God is someone who's forefront.
Right.
But over time, we start doing little things that compromise who we are. So what ends up happening is you pull God from the center of your relationship, and now you start to replace what God was telling you to do with what you think you should do.
That's right.
Oh, I've been telling her not to do this for such and so long. She's not listening to me. I gotta be rougher. Did God say that?
Yeah.
Or you know what I mean? She's not changing into what I want her to do. I need to put my foot down. And then now you start taking force when it's like, well, the reason you got there is because before you made any move, you were praying and seeking the Lord before.
Right.
But now you get comfortable because you think, oh, marriage, I've made it. But it was never about the destination.
That's right.
It's about becoming.
Yes.
So now when you end up in a situation like Devon Frank and Megan Good, I don't know their story. I don't know them. Never had a conversation with them. But I can try to surmise, and it's just a theory, that at some point in their relationship, the things that brought them to where they were, they stopped doing. Because the things that bring you there are there to also deal with any obstacle or difference in opinion or difference in ideology. So whatever took you there was enough to get married, to make the commitment to spend the rest of your life with each other. So at some point, you guys started going against those ideals and against those beliefs, and you reset. And instead of taking all the lessons that you had to become, you went back and undid all of that. And now you come to, oh, it's irreconcilable. But I'm pretty sure when you guys were in your period before, you know what I'm saying? And so that ends up being that issue when it comes to relationships and placing God. And to simplify everything I just said, think of a car. If God was your engine, you're gonna go where the engine leads you. But at some point, if you take out the engine, don't be upset if the car don't function no more, because you literally took out what was making it work.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Dang.
and bro, I'm not honest. Listen, it's funny. Like some older folk be like, "How do you know this at such a young age?" I'm like, I just pay attention. I pray. So I'm not trying to act like I got all the answers. But my goal,
you're a guru. Don't be humble,
bro. On a simple level, bro. Like my goal is it's that same concept. It's like just revisit. Okay, in my season of singleness, in my season when it was just really just me and God, nobody else. What was I learning? What was I doing? And me specifically, I was learning. Okay, how to be sexually disciplined, how not to be so dependent on female attention, how to set boundaries in relationships, how to set boundaries in friendships, how to love unconditionally. So now when I'm married, I go through things daily where these 5 little things are tested all the time. A simple, easy story is that there's a gym that I go to hoop at, right? And there's this girl there at the door, and she don't smile at nobody. When I walk in, smiles mad hard.
Help her, Jesus.
And I call him Dark Asel.
Right.
Dark Asel knows exactly the things to say, to do, to develop a friendship with her, start getting her attention without even crossing any lines.
Right.
I could become her friend, and I could, oh, how you doing, girl? And just get her real comfortable with me. But because of the lessons I learned, I'm like, don't even entertain that. Because first of all, that's not no friendship. You just gonna talk to her for the attention. So how do I stay out of trouble? Well, take the lessons that you learned in that season. Now it's time to apply it. And if you just follow that, the lessons that you was learning in the season before God brought you to where you at, because he always prepares you.
That's right.
So if you take the lessons that you learn and you just apply it to your new spot, it's the same thing. It's the same thing, bro.
You need to write a book. A whole book. And this is the 3rd time I told you that. You need to write a whole book.
I might have something coming. I gotta discipline my time a little bit. We work on something, man.
And it's like there's one thing I'm learning right now with my girlfriend and stuff. Like, now I take time to appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's how comfortable we are with each other.
Like,
I was not like that with my past girlfriends.
Yeah.
So when I would not talk about my videos about my girlfriends, I would feel ashamed every time she's watched one of my videos and stuff. I would never talk Bible with my ex-girlfriend.
Okay.
I mean, we would pray, but
Yeah.
just pray and then go. But never had, like last time I had a whole Bible discussion with my girlfriend, and I started like, damn, I'm having a whole Bible discussion with my girlfriend.
That's it, bro.
And she was laughing. I'm like, you don't understand.
That's it, bro.
Yeah.
That's
like
it.
it was like it felt so good.
Yeah.
It felt so good, and relationships are important, man.
Yeah.
Like y'all.
Listen,
I
man.
left y'all behind. Sorry.
Listen, man. Enjoy every season, bro.
Yes, sir.
Every season. So this season that you're in right now, enjoy it. And when it's time to go to the next level, engagement, marriage, whatever it is, you just, like we say, it ain't about destination. Just enjoy the becoming. Right. And the same thing that got you to this point, right? Listening to the ear of God. I'm pretty sure when you met her, you was like, yo, Lord, are we moving in this direction? And you just keep the same thing, bro. That's the thing. It's that as we advance, we start thinking that we need this new advance and improve God to, it's like, bro, if you brought you to this point, you're going to be all right. That's right. He knows. But man, listen, this was a dope episode. I can't hold my bro forever. Listen, hey, let the people know how they can connect with you, man.
I mean, you guys can check me on Instagram. Instagram and Facebook. I mean,
what's the handles?
Marc Brianvil. It's my first name. First name and last name. Marc Brianvil on all social media.
There you go.
So I'm on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook.
Listen, and when I tell you guys,
I have my website.
Oh, website. Yeah. Oh, and he got apparel too. He had one of the shirts, but he had to change.
My shop right now is kind of closed because we're working on rebranding and stuff. But right now, I start my trouble on my blog.
Good.
Because the reason why I do that is because there's no way to go back and forth with people.
Yeah.
So I write my whole thing,
just
my
drop
whole
it
thought,
and walk away.
Yeah. So check my blog out because I need people, because at some point they're gonna start paying me.
Yeah.
So I need people to just go subscribe.
So
it's free.
There you go. Yeah. Go to his website. Yeah. Go subscribe to the blog. It's free. Support the homie out. Yeah. Listen, man, show some love to my boy.
And one thing. If you don't agree with something I said, you can come to me. Like, we're not gonna have if it was in the past, we would have that bad debate. But now I'm a changed person. And see, when I was coming here, I was reading this book on the plane, and the author said, challenging someone's belief is not wrong.
No.
She said, you do that because you respect the person.
That's right.
If you do not respect someone, you would never care
That's right.
to challenge.
That's right. That's right.
So I don't think debating is wrong.
Yeah.
How you deliver is with anger or with unkindness or whatever, that's bad. Yeah. Now God had changed me. I will never cuss you out.
Amen. Do
certain evil tactics. I won't use them anymore.
Right.
But you can challenge what I write. I write a lot about Seventh-day Adventism. I wrote 2 pieces that are really heavy. God was still working with me, but I wrote them heavily. I was writing a whole book. Yeah. And then I think I sent it to you.
Yeah.
But I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna post it.
I get
it.
I
posted the 2 first chapters only, and then after that, I'm like, no, because every time I was writing, I was getting mad.
Right.
But I'm writing, I'm getting pissed.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, this is not right. This is not healthy.
Yeah.
So but if you don't care or if you don't want to read, go check my first 2 chapters about my experience, and then some questions I have, and I post about my life, my family.
And then what's the name of your website?
MarcBrianvil.com.
There you go. Simple. MarcBrianvil.com. So check it out. Support out the bro. Listen, bro. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Beautiful people. Listen, if you haven't already, like, share, subscribe. Hit me on IG, SelzJP on TikTok. It's the same thing on YouTube, youtube.com, SelzJP. It's been another episode of SelzSpeaks. Peace out.